Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Welcome to another edition of Mass Impact, the educational podcast. Now, look, the reason why I started this, I truly believe that education is the way to close the gap, the wealth gap, the digital divide gap, the opportunity gap. Look, the American dream gap. Can I be honest? Everybody's not experiencing the American dream in the way it's supposed to be experienced. So the reason why we started the Mass Impact, the educational podcast, is to close that gap. Now look, mass is simple. It means motivate, actionable steps, which means what? We're going to give you strategies every week. So we're not just going to motivate you and inspire you, which is important, but we're going to give you actionable steps. And look, it's a support system, y'all. Thus Mass. It's your boy E.T. Now you know. Let's go. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy E.T. Hey, I think I'm always excited around this time of year, man. This is like the end of March Madness, but just a phenomenal time. Spring, is here. I saw 50 in Michigan, 48 in Michigan. I'm like, she's coming. She coming around the mountain when she come. You know what I'm saying? She be coming around the mountain.
We are ready.
This is a good time of the year. Summer, of course, is that deal, but spring is letting us know that summer is on the way. Super excited. This is the final stretch. Pretty much. I'm getting ready for that last leg for our educators, for our students. Now, remember, I always have to tell y'all, education it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But from the traditional standpoint, depending on what school district you're in or what type of school you're in, for the most part, summer is that time where, we take a break. But I always say, I ran track. I was a part of the Cheetah program, and Coach used to always say, don't run to the line, run through the line. All right? Don't run to the line, run through the line. And so I want to encourage all my teachers, all my students, if you're watching this, don't quit in May. If you go all the way to June, don't quit until the very last day. Let's get, as my aunt would say, every piece of toothpaste out of this toothpaste container. All right. So I just want to encourage you guys, man, let's finish strong. Even when I think about March Madness, some of the teams that won, it was they won in the last 30 seconds, the last 20 seconds, like they finished strong. All right. So we got to finish strong. So again, welcome to another edition of Mass Impact. And of course, it's all about motivating you. I like to consider myself Mr. Motivation. You know what I'm saying? I believe in motivation. I don't believe it's the be all and do all, but I believe it's very critical. Action steps, man, I'm telling y'all, I'm growing being a part of this podcast because I'm taking more action than I've ever taken before. And then, of course, I don't care who you are and how good you are. We all need a support system, right? And so we're here to support you, the best way we can. Man, super excited to talk about this topic. We got, of course, Katie is our captain. So she sent us this article, and I absolutely love the article and thought that it has some very simple steps we could take to finish strong. Katie, why don't you talk to us about why you decided this article, and maybe even if they want to go look it up, where they can find it.
Yes. I pulled an article I sent to the group here. We're always kind of got our group text going back and forth on what we feel like is relevant in education. And it's from Education World, and it is called 5 Ways to Sustain Your Class Climate This Spring. So what you just said, E, it's just that time of year where we need to push through to the finish line. And as educators, we've all been there. We know it's not always easy to do. So we are with you, and want to just talk through some of those ways to sustain not just you, but your class climate. How do we keep the energy going for your kids this spring so that they can be the best that they are capable of being?
I love it. Let me just say before we have a special guest, but before we bring that special guest in, Sam, what it do? I hadn't seen you in a couple of episodes.
I know. It's so good to see you all and be back in action.
Yes. How's that coffee coming?
It's coming. We just, Capital City Market just reordered and doubled their order this time. So The students are having a tasting on April 8th. So I'll be sending that information to y'all if you're free.
Hey, Sam, real quick, in case anybody's like, what coffee are they talking about? Give us like a snapshot update.
The coffee. Talk to us, girl. The coffee.
Know, but someone might not know.
Yeah. So Show Me the World Project provides transformational educational experiences, including a lot of our youth first international trip. And so Show Me the World Coffee is a entrepreneurship teaching tool in our program, and it also helps fund their first international trip. So we are in 2 Myers stores, Capital City Market in Lansing, Michigan, Fresh Time in St. Louis. And so super excited. Just a couple weeks ago in Lansing, we had our first coffee tasting and sold out on the shelves, and had a reorder. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, we winning all around, y'all. We winning. And I do want to say this before we get started. Believe. Believe. I can't stress that enough, especially in our educational, world where it seems that there's a lot of obstacles. There are a lot of challenges in our school system, for whatever reason. But I want y'all to believe, this work that Sam is doing is coming out of belief in kids, coming out of belief in those who will support her, coming out of the belief of her methodology, and we got coffee on the shelf in major stores because of belief, and so that's just so important, man. So many times, we get caught up in some of the challenges that present themselves, and we give up and we give in, but at the end of the day, Sam is an example of somebody who's winning in the school district. I saw a newspaper article and then even some news interviews from Vondale, what he's doing with champs. And it's just like, yo, they winning. What I'm saying? Like they winning. And when everybody else is talking about, well, kids aren't going to do this and kids can't do that, they're finding a way to help kids win. And so I just want y'all to know, man, I'm surrounded by winners. You may want to link up with us. Maybe where you are, they're not winning. What I'm saying? I'm not there, so I can't speak to it. But I'm just telling you, we're winning over here. So maybe if you're frustrated, if you're tired, maybe you want to use us, to help you to get to that next level. And I mean that sincerely. Sometimes it's the pack you're running with that means so much. So with that being said, we have a special guest who is a member of our pack and is in the educational arena. So I call him Mr. Terry, Mr. Charles Terry. How you doing there, young man?
I'm outstanding. How's everybody?
Good.
Mr. Terry, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
If I'm not mistaken, you are actually on a day-to-day basis, you are in the school building. You are actually in a school.
Right. So it's 2 days a week. So I do, I've been blessed with the opportunity to come in. I'm doing a master's in mental clinical health counseling. And I have an internship situation where I come in and do behavior intervention 2 days a week for the Plano ISD.
Good. What are you seeing, Charles, as you're there? Give us some hope. What are you seeing? Good, bad, or indifferent, but what are you seeing that works with these babies? And what grade level is this?
So it's K-5.
Okay. Well, you in the heart. You in the heart of it.
Yeah. Actually, got pre-K through 5th. We're in the thick of it all. But it's a mix of things. The school I'm at is a Title I school, so that's the first strike. Is that you have a mix of single parent homes, low income. There's a lot of that going on there. Multiple languages. So there's cultural differences that we're dealing with. Basically, there's teaching and modeling where you see one person takes it as being disrespectful. Well, we have to make sure we have to unpack it. That could be cultural. Mm-hmm. Let's unpack it and make sure. Well, he never listens. He doesn't do that. Well, in his culture, women are not really a priority. Yeah. So it's not that he's being disrespectful. We need to shape him and mold him. Stuff like that. Right. Let's get your life right. Right. You have to get them together. And then you have we're still feeling the back end of COVID, the virtual kids. So those virtual COVID kids are now in the classrooms and they don't know how to do school. They didn't do kindergarten and first grade correctly. So they're second graders and they are out of control. And so it's a lot of sitting down, being quiet, writing. I mean, the basic stuff. It's like, what is going on? Why are you're too old for this. But you have to remember that they are virtual Kickstarter.
Virtual babies.
Yeah, they're virtual Kickstarters. So they didn't get that foundational work. So it's just a lot of, and with my role as the behavior intervention specialist, I come in, like I said, twice a week. And my goal is to be proactive. So I bring proactive strategies that we target noted behaviors, and then we put proactive pieces in place to mitigate it before it becomes a situation.
That's a real thing that you said, that's a real thing, that COVID did, almost wipe away some of the classroom etiquettes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, to your point, it's not their fault. Like, they didn't create COVID, but they were born in it for some of them. Those who were even in the school building, who left the school building for 2 years, that's a huge readjustment. Yeah. That's a big adjustment. And depending on your personality, it's even a greater. When I was somewhere recently, and there was some kind of meeting that was going on, and the lady was like, "Oh no, you can sit here." I was like, "Ma'am, I'm good." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm good on sitting down. You know what I'm saying? I'm an adult now. I promise you, we're gonna do way better with me standing up, walking around than we are with sitting down.
I love it.
Yeah, but I promise you, I get it. So some kids, were already challenged with, having energy and having to sit down for 8 hours. But that was the rule of thumb. So now you go 2 years without doing it, and then you come back. It is an adjustment, man. And it's an adjustment for our teachers, because even though they left for 2 years, they still have that paradigm, that particular traditional paradigm. So it is. And I don't think a lot of people realize, just in society as a whole, COVID has changed things forever. And we've got to acknowledge that. I think a lot of us want to go, we're back. Like, a lot of us want to go, like, we back outside, things are back. And it's like, no, we back outside, but things are not the same, right? I'm glad you said that, Charles, because I need to do a better job even when I'm teaching or when I'm given certain opportunities, to make sure that we are aware of, things aren't what they used to be. But anyway, I think we have a phenomenal article today that can address some of those things. So, Katie, I don't know how you want to start the article off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely read through it, and I have a couple of things I want to share. But why don't you lead us out?
Sure. Yeah, we can all just chime in wherever. The first suggestion for sustaining class culture, and I mean, we're talking about sustaining class culture amidst like COVID changes, springtime, however it fits in your relevant space whenever you're listening to this. But the first one was toe the line, which I thought was really interesting. But essentially, when you read the meat of that, it's about like making sure that you as an educator are holding high expectations for yourself, and that the students follow that. So I'll tell you the example it made me think of is that when I taught, I used capturing kids' hearts. If you guys are familiar with that, a lot of people know that kind of philosophy of shaking hands at the door. So shaking hands with students on their way in the door, no matter what. And all of us teachers know sometimes you get busy, right? There's like a list of things going through your head that you really need to do. But I would that was my rule. I'd stop whatever I was doing. It's going to be bell time. I'm at the door shaking hands. How are you? But I remember, right, this springtime, you get like, oh, but I have like 7 parent emails and I have like a bunch of grades to do. And at this point, I had high schoolers and they can walk in themselves. And so I let it slip, right? I didn't toe the line, and I'd be like, I'm just going to sit at my desk and do those last couple emails while they walk in. They notice that, right? Even my kids, they're trustworthy. They can come in and get themselves started, but there's a different energy. They're like, oh, she's just chilling at her desk getting some emails in. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put my headphone back in on my way in, and I'm going to bring the same energy into the classroom that she's bringing right now. Which was just different. I would realize it quickly, like, oh, but when I'm at the door to greet my kids, shake everybody's hand. Hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Their headphones come out. They're like, okay, she means business. It's go time. So that was my example that I thought of like, would we let our expectations for ourselves kind of relax? Our kids are going to follow that energy.
Absolutely.
So keeping that up for yourself, even when it's hard to do, educators, right? But we got to pause those emails and get ourselves to the door, whatever that is for you, so that you're high energy or, the best version of yourself. So kids follow that.
Yeah. I thought about basketball, or even football, it's 4 quarters, and oftentimes we don't teach conditioning. I think we should do a better job in the beginning of the year of constantly reminding kids of what expectations are. I know even when we talk about COVID, I think I was so excited to get back outside that some of the expectations that we should have started with, I don't traditionally start there. I like to just, I'm just ready to get right back into it. And when I read the article, it was like, no, you need to remind everybody every day of what the expectations are. Like you need to start with, hey, this is what is expected of us. But some of us, like I said, my natural, energy, I'm just ready to get in. I'm just ready to go to work, and I think we need to stop and just say, here are the expectations. I was listening to, how, you have Charles Barkley and Kenny Jet Smith and all them. They were talking before the game. They were talking about Coach Tang. And one of the things that Coach does, and this is a head coach of Kansas State, and he really also borrowed it from Coach Drew with Baylor. But Coach wrote a book called Joy, and it's Jesus, others, and you. And Coach Tang thing is like, we just gonna always have fun. It's like, I don't care if we up, if we down, like we just gonna have fun. And he's always reminding them of the expectations. But what's important, if you watch the game, if they're losing or they're winning, he's still having fun. And he's constantly letting the guys know, like, this is basketball. You're in college. Like, we just here to have fun. If we win the national title, we're going to have fun. If we lose it, we're going to have fun. And so I just think that's important, is what are the expectations, and them knowing the expectations. And then more importantly, like you said, Katie, regardless of the circumstances, as the leader, me keeping those expectations. Why? Because if I unravel, there is a great chance that they're going to unravel as well.
Definitely. Yeah, for
sure. I got a question for Brother Terry. Brother Terry, so in terms of you more or less having a bird's eye view, because you mentioned that you were there at least twice a week, right? You may not necessarily be inside of the classroom. What perspective do you have that you bring to staff or teachers to kind of help inform some of their practices that they may not see?
Yeah, that's good. So that's actually a really good question, because when I heard Toe the Line, the first thing that came to my mind was classroom management. And so a lot of the issue that I have to come in with is the child is causing the issue, but the root is the classroom management. So it's like, he's up talking and walking. I said, but what were you doing when he was up talking and walking? Well, I was over here doing it. That's your planning period. You're supposed to be actively engaging right now, and he was not engaged.
Right.
A man like to talk. And so he's up moving around, and he's leaving the room, and he's doing stuff. I'm like, okay, no, he is wrong for doing that. I'm going to address that. But you also need to do the following. We need to walk on some stuff with you as well. So looking at it, a lot of what you're seeing is the teachers, and I don't like using the word burnout because I don't believe in that. I mean, you're going to work. I mean, it is tiring, but you still get an incentive at the end of the day. So it's not really burnout, but it is a lot because you get more stuff put on them. Like I've watched, it's like, okay, you got to do this and you got to fill this out. Now this child is having the IEP and you got to do this right here to fill out this thing. So it's so much to be done in one day where you end up taking stuff home, and then they're like, okay, no, I'm going to do this now because I'm not taking this home. And then doing it now turns into my man over here doing the most. So what we started doing now is creating, and I kind of talk straight, the understandings. They want to say classroom rules or expectations. I have a clear understanding is what I call it. And so, for example, if she's going to do the emails, they need to have a clear understanding what they're doing. So, for example, you guys are working on problem 1 through 8. If you have questions, you walk up to this table and you answer the question. If you don't have questions, no one should be talking. It should be quiet in here. I'm about to do these emails right now, so I don't have to take this home. If you need my help, you come over. I look at the board, use your tools. I'm here. Now, it's very clear. Now, if my man gets up and starts doing the most now, that's because he just didn't want to follow the rules.
Absolutely.
It's fine. So making sure that everybody has a clear understanding. You can follow the rules when you understand when the rules have been given. So not giving the rules, I mean, you can't. Expectations.
And Charles, I think that's deep because sometimes I think one of the challenges in schools, I guess maybe just with humans, period, but schools have a lot of humans in You know, it's a lot of humans together at one particular time.
For a long time.
Yeah. I think assumptions, man, are really, vibe killers.
Yeah.
Because we make the assumption that somebody understands. You know me, studying the assessment, I think has been a game changer for me because I now understand other personalities in a way that I never even knew what an introvert was. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking you didn't checked out on life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't want to engage with humans. You know what I'm saying? We're coming to figure out it's like, oh, no. They're engaged. They just think before they talk, or they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? I could never imagine that. Like, what's that? Why would you do that? Like, just go. And so I realized, even though I bring a very unique perspective to the classroom, I really hurt a lot of students because I was not methodical. I did not communicate effectively. I thought the way I was talking, they would understand, but it was a lot of missing pieces. So for me, I realized that class management and with all the other things that get kids engaged and involved, I wasn't doing it. And I wasn't doing it because I was not clear. The expectations weren't clear. The rules weren't clear. I was just coming in feeling like, you should know this. Somebody at home taught you this. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows this. But you'll be shocked that everybody knows this is about 12% of the people.
Yeah.
Or 20% of the people know this. Other people don't know this, And so I thought that was good, Charles, because why are they being disruptive? And we can't fix something that we're not measuring. And so there are kids who are getting in trouble because they're just disobedient. But there are a lot of kids who are getting in trouble, and we could help them immediately if the instructions were clear.
Yep.
And I've come to realize that there's some students you can't talk the expectations to. They have to be in writing. Like they physically have to have the rules in there. It's like the person who puts that desk together. Like they keep referring to the instructions. Like they keep going back. Like, okay, A, I need an A screw, D, okay, the D pin, okay. And so I think teachers who are listening, don't assume that everybody who's not getting it has a learning disability or a behavior issue. Some people aren't getting it because you have not done a good enough job with the instructions. And I hope that doesn't offend you. That's why I threw myself under the bus first. But there are those of us who are very extrovert in nature. There are those of us who are very high energy in nature. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we don't provide them with the instructions in writing that they can go back and refer to. If our pace is too fast for them, right, they can go, because some people just need to go back and forth. Like they want to be sure, they want to be clear. So those instructions help them to go back and forth. So that was good, Charles.
And the other thing too, is we don't allow space or a moment to process. Sometimes we do fast, even with the flight assessment, I've been able to give them some tools. So it's like sometimes like when we do, if let's say we're playing a game, we're doing Kahoot or we're playing whatever game, don't let people blurt out, number one, and don't let people raise their hand. Okay, everybody needs to write it down, and then everybody raises the paper, and then you pick somebody. But give everybody a chance to process it, because you know me, I'm putting my hand up first. You're still reading the question. I'm like, I'll make it up I'll make it up.
Yeah, as we go.
I can wing it. And the other person is like, well, you find kids that get frustrated because they never get a chance. They have the answer. He never answers. Well, you're moving too fast. So use a dry erase board or a paper. Everybody write your answer down. Now, when everybody's ready, everybody's hand goes up, and we'll pick somebody and just show it and that kind of thing. So yeah.
That is one tangible thing. I would challenge you, whether you are K through 12, to get a set of whiteboards in your classroom. So if you want tangible, walk away from this.
That's good.
Everybody does everything. So I had a sign in my classroom that said everybody does everything. I did not make that up. I will not take the credit for it. I got it from Anita Archer. She is a genius. If you haven't read all of her books, go grab them. But the whiteboard is a way to do that. So you mentioned, Charles, just getting everybody a chance to different people a chance to answer and think, but it makes everybody do the work, honestly. So the kids who are like, I'm just going to not raise my hand because, Johnny over there is always going to raise his hand, so I don't have to. It makes everybody get the answer down. And so it's really, really the best practice way to get everybody involved in understanding the answers. And then with that too, 15 seconds of silence should happen before everybody answers. So if you don't want to do a whiteboard hold up, or you don't have a set of whiteboards, those of you that are like, I don't have the budget for that, you can also do choral responses, but there should be a full 15 seconds before everybody responds. So even if it's a simple like, hey, do you agree this is true or false? Get it in your head, whether you know it's true or false. Give me a thumbs up when you have it. 15 seconds of wait time. And Eve, for people like you and me, that's a long time. 15 seconds. I'm like, come on, let's do this, right?
Oh.
Well, actually, probably a lot of us here. But anyways, right? After that 15 seconds, you can say, everybody, I count to 3, you tell me true or false. 1, 2, 3, boom. Everybody says the answer at the same time. So it's giving everybody think time, everybody's involved. And that is for sure something that if you're not already using those practices, that could revitalize the springtime. Like we need a new little something to get everybody engaged.
Hey, Katie, real quick, I'm going to give you a freebie for the people. If you can't afford whiteboards, go get a piece of white paper cardstock and laminate it.
Yeah.
And give everybody a piece of that. It's the same thing.
Or put it in a sheet protector. Put a piece of paper in a sheet protector. Or go to Home Depot and they have like the big board that you can just cut or that they'll cut for you. And that's generally more cost effective.
No excuse.
Sourboard. It's a sourboard from Home Depot. And if you were like me, I would go in there and ask them to give it to you for free too. Like, hey, I got a bunch of second graders. I need this one piece of shower board. Can you cut it into 30 pieces for me? And will you donate it also? So,
Yes. Great tips. I know that the next one is circle up in the article. And so before the pandemic, when I was dean of students, we worked really hard to just like study the whole restorative circles, practice, and implement them in all of the advisory classes. So every morning, everybody would go to their advisory classes and they would circle up and literally sit in a circle, right, and have a conversation. And so I really loved that this was included in this article. And something that stuck out to me was when it said that most all human behavior comes down to need, right? And so being able to circle up, not just being a teacher and standing up at the kids are used to that, they're used to the virtual thing, but standing up and I'm just talking to you versus we're all sitting down together and sitting in the circle. And so I think that's a very important way to hear what the students, are experiencing, what they're feeling right now. They're connecting with each other. And so you can use that as just a connecting point, like an icebreaker. How was your weekend, right? But you can also use it more intentionally as well when things aren't going well, right? So let's talk about what happens here. And so I got to travel across the country to a few different schools and watch schools implement this. And, even when there was 2 kids that like had an altercation in the classroom, right? And then they brought everybody back when they came back and had the administrator there and whatnot, and everybody just had a conversation. And so there are several different ways that this can be used very powerfully. So if you aren't using them, I encourage you to study them and see how you could incorporate it into your classroom. But it just made me also think like how even more important like circling up is, especially after the pandemic. And like we would just mention, like engaging virtually and just having that human connection and being able to look at each other in the eyes and have conversations, I think is really important.
Yeah. When I think about Chick-fil-A, one of the things that I think makes them who they are is that no matter what level you're on, they all are able to act out whatever the CEO's vision is. I don't care if it's the drive-through. You've seen those TikTok hookups where my man is like running a sprint. He's just I'm a man running a sprint. He catches the car. And he's like, sorry. Back there, I forgot to say thank you. I forgot to say my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And I saw one where it's like they doing drills. You know what I'm saying? They doing Chick-fil-A drills. Get ready to, help people in the drive-through.
Running all the way through the line, past
running backwards with one sandwich, with a shake.
So why is this? Why do they always get it right?
Yeah, and it's because from the top, they are more concerned about training and development than they are the actual sandwich itself. And I think one of the things that we have to do as educators, just listen to what Sam just said. It is this coming back. It is this coming back regularly and making sure that we understand what this is about. And to Charles' point earlier, there are so many distractions in the school building that we gotta circle up. We gotta huddle up regularly and keep reminding people that when the vision is clear, we have a much greater chance of people actually fulfilling it. And so if it's like one day you come and it's about testing, another day you come, it's about, it's just like confusing, and so we have to, like Chick-fil-A. And again, Chick-fil-A is so competitive without as many stores as Taco Bell, with McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a store on every corner. They're not in certain neighborhoods. Like you probably can't even find a Chick-fil-A in certain cities. You couldn't find a Chick-fil-A.
You can't. Do you remember we tried to take it to our students in Detroit? And I had to
drive. She had to go all the way she had to go to the hospital. They got a little small one in the hospital, Vondell. She had to go to the hospital to grab it, and so it's just not in the city.
Yeah.
But they do so well economically because, and so I think we must do a better job of telling kids regularly why you are here. And it's not to get A's and B's. That's not the end goal. It's not to just be valedictorian.
Yeah.
It's not just to do well on standardized tests. It's not. Like education, when it was introduced to this country, for a specific means. And I'll be honest with you, when people, I don't know if it was age and instruction, but when I got to college and I was able to really figure out what education was about, like, I enjoyed it. Maybe not some of the, paperwork and stuff we had to do. Like maybe not some of the courses was like, I'm not necessarily sure why I'm taking this particular course, but the science behind who I could become as an individual and how education could change my life and the trajectory of my family's life. I was like, somebody should have told me that in third grade. I just thought it was about, memorizing, like words so that I could do good on the spelling bee, or testing, because that's all they seem to talk about in school was testing. So I think as educators, our students would do better if we told them what the end game was and how they benefited from this. I just think we would see a lot of differences, but it's like, hey, if I'm just going and it's complex when I get there, it's a challenge. Like for some kids, they don't have the right clothes. For other kids, they get beat up. For other kids, they get teased. Like it's a lot. That if you don't know why you're going and you have to deal with all of that, I'm not about to press through all of that.
Yep.
To get just a grade, But I think if we spend time really saying, no, you're gonna have to go through a lot. But if you get this, you will experience the American dream.
Yes. And it made me think about, just as you were chatting, or as you were talking about March Madness earlier, right? In my Master's of Educational Leadership program, we read Coach K's book in my program. We also studied the format in the hospitals around where they circle up in the morning, right? And so when you're circling up as in March Madness, on a team, right? And so I think like getting back to that and reminding ourselves why we circle up, why that's important to operate as a team, why it's important to keep ourselves on track and make some corrections and, and connect. So you see it across Chick-fil-A, you see it across basketball, across the board, this whole theory of circling up.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, let's do this. If we could just, as we always conclude before we turn it over to Coach B, our nuggets for the day. So we'll start with Katie. Katie, as we get ready for spring, we said a lot, but what's that one nugget that you want to leave educators with?
Yeah, I'm going to add one to the list that wasn't on that list in the article, and that is to add more independent reading time. And I promise you that it will be worth it. I just looked up last night, another recent article said that 69% of American fourth graders right now in the United States are not reading on grade level. 69%. So that is staggering. I promise you, if you add in independent reading time, no matter your grade level or content area, and then you support them during that time, it will be valuable. And if you do it in the right way, it will re-engage and reignite the culture in your students so that springtime has something meaningful added to it. And honestly, we just have to do it so we can get our babies where they need to be.
That's good. That's good. Good. Charles, talk to us. Give us a nugget. Give our educators a nugget that they can take with.
I would say if you don't have healthy classroom management practices, either ask or start. Let's put it this way. If you stop doing what you were doing, start back doing it or ask for help, because what you're doing is a disservice to the next teacher because you're so relaxed. Oh, it's a very chill environment. Well, you're not giving the minimal amount of structure. So then they come to the next classroom and they get labeled as out of control. They talk too much. They do this. That's not true. They weren't set up for success for the next level. And each level is designed to be more intense,
absolutely,
or a little more serious, so to say.
Absolutely.
That's going to continue the rest of their life. So
Absolutely.
in the earlier stages, not saying be mean and be hardcore, but have at least the minimal amount of classroom management, teaching them etiquette, and then that way as they move and progress, they'll be able to be successful in the behavior aspect of it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you just said something that's, educators, we have a responsibility not to just prepare them for our classroom, but for whatever structure they're going to have to deal with, in the world. And look, I just left Rikers Island. Structure is everywhere. If you don't get it in school, you're going to have to get it in prison.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to get it regardless. And so we have to do a better job of making sure that we understand, and I'm talking to a specific group, that your strength is not your structure, but you have to understand that it is a part of society. So whether you buy into it or not, you got to help the babies to buy into it. Good. Sam, talk to us. What's that gem that you want to leave with our educators today?
Yeah, so when I think about springtime, when I was an educator, that was the time I got the most creative, okay? The weather is warm, kids want to be outside, like they might be a little more distracted, and it's also testing season as well. So I just encourage you to get creative in the springtime. Do some fun, different things. For me personally, we used to, when I taught biology, we always did hands-on dissection in the springtime, and it was something that kids were working towards that they were really excited about. We did a music video to pump up for testing. We did experiential field trips. And so I would say springtime is that time to get creative and have some fun and give some incentive towards looking forward towards some new things in the springtime.
I love it. I love it. Let's switch it up. You might want to paint the classroom or switch the desk around. Yeah. Switch it up. Good. Vondell, talk to us.
So I'm going to leave y'all with an acronym that we use with Champs, and we used it on Saturday a couple of days ago, and it's called PIES, right? So when you check in, it's how are you physically, how are you intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually? PIES. So think of a pie that you eat, and remember to do that for yourself, not just for your students. So how are you physically? How are you intellectually? How are you emotionally? And how are you spiritually?
Oh, grandma, sweet potato pies. I'm going to remember that. I'm send them some pies.
Yeah.
I would say, when I think about car salesmen, I'm in corporate. So one of the things I like about corporate is they're always focused on results. Their thing is ABC, always be closing. Every single day you're a car salesman. You focused on closing. It's not about showing somebody a car. It's about closing the deal. I would say the educators always be closing. Every single day, always be closing. Make sure that every single time the kids come into our classroom, they're getting results. Always be closing. Like, don't let them spend 4 or 5 days with you and they didn't learn something, grow in some area. Like, always be closing. Like, this is not glorified babysitting. there's something, I look at education as development. This is a time, every time they come into your classroom, this is a time for them to get developed, to go from a boy to a man, or, whatever. It's always be closing, so that's my thing. It's okay to be nice and kind and, loving and fun and a great environment, but we don't come to school for that. We come to school to learn. So always be closing. Make sure that every single day that you're setting them up to be smarter than what they were the day before. Yeah. All right. Hey, we hope you enjoy another episode of Mass Impact. Katie, how do they get in touch with us again?
Yes, I was just going to say that info@massimpacteducation.com, and send us questions. If you've got PD needs, you want information about the playbook program or any of our programs here, we'll get back to you from there right away.
All right. Take it away, B.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Principal's Office here on Mass Impact, the education podcast. We're so excited to have you back with us. And today's episode is all about sustaining the impact that you've been making up to this point in 2023. Not just sustaining the impact, but sustaining yourself, your energy, your vitality, your commitment, your knowledge, your sharpness with your mind. All of that has to be sustained throughout the rest of the year. And trust us, we know that these school years can be long. At times they can be grueling. We get it. But we have to come up with strategies to sustain ourselves through the length and the entirety of the school year. So I did something kind of interesting today, and I looked up the definition for the word sustain. And there's a couple of definitions that I find here. Number one is to keep up or to keep going, to prolong. Now, when we think about how can we sustain the impact that we've had up until now in 2023, that definition of sustain makes a lot of sense. We're trying to come up with strategies, with tools, with tactics to be able to take that impact and keep it up, to keep it going, to prolong the impact, not just for another day or another week or another month, but throughout the rest of the school year. That makes a lot of sense, but the obvious question is then, well, how do we do it? How in the world do we sustain this impact? How do we sustain our energy? How do we sustain our commitment? How do we sustain our motivation? How do we sustain all of it? And I saw this other definition of sustain that I thought was pretty interesting and might lend some ideas on how we can do that. And it says to strengthen or support physically or mentally. The example sentence here is the thought had sustained him throughout the years. So now we're not talking about the act of continuing on or prolonging. Now we're getting into the realm of how do we do that? Well, we have to have something that sustains us, that nourishes us, that gives us energy, that fuels us, something that can strengthen us physically or mentally. And I think that allows us to ask a lot better questions, because when we ask the question, how can we prolong the impact? That's a very challenging question to ask. There's a million ideas that might come up in your head and my head, and they might all be completely different ideas. And it's challenging to know where to start, because how do I proliferate impact throughout a generation of students? I don't know. How do I do anything? Why is the sky blue? That's a huge question to be able to ask yourself. But when we can begin to chunk that down into smaller pieces, reverse engineer it just a little bit and say, let's use the other definition of sustain to help us out. How can I strengthen myself physically and mentally in order to put myself in the best position possible to sustain and prolong the impact? Now, that's a question that we can answer. How can I strengthen myself mentally and physically? Number one, you can watch podcasts just like this. You can set aside time to pour into yourself. You can set aside time for self-care, whether that's going on a hike, whether that's the gym, whether that's meditation, journaling. Set aside time for self-care. Set aside time for goal setting and planning, just like we did in the principal's office during the last episode. By the way, be sure to check that out if you haven't already. It's setting aside time to pour into yourself so that you can then pour into others. You have to create a strong physical and mental version of you so that you can then transfer that impact and create strong physical and mental versions of the students, of your coworkers, of everybody that you come into contact with. And your job is to reverse engineer that one question. How can I pour into myself physically and mentally? How can I strengthen myself physically and mentally? If you can answer that question, and it will be a unique answer for each and every one of you that's watching this. My version of strengthening myself physically and mentally, because this is something that I do to de-stress, to decompress, is I was a gymnast for 15 years, so I'll go to the gym and I'll go bounce on trampoline and do a bunch of flips and twists. Now, that might not be the best strategy for you, and I'm not judging. Maybe it is the best strategy for you. Maybe that's perfect for you. But if you try it and get hurt, please don't sue us, because I'm not recommending that. This is nothing I'm saying right now is endorsed by Eric Thomas or the School Days Foundation or Mass Impact. Okay, now that that's out of the way, answer that question for you as a unique individual. How can I strengthen myself physically and mentally? What makes me recharged? What makes me feel alive? What makes me feel like I am on my purpose, on path, and not distracted? When you can answer that question, you'll have your answer on how to sustain your impact. That's all for this episode of Mass Impact, the education podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Look, we couldn't wait for the book. You pre-ordered. They said they'll be here Monday, shipping them to us. We said we can't wait. We about to drive 3.5. Get your books, sign them. Hold on. I gotta show you, cause y'all think I'm playing. Hold on. We unlock people. Hold on. Let's get this right. I gotta show y'all, cause I gotta show y'all. We serious about it. I couldn't wait. All right, if you go in here, you're gonna see it. They pre-envelope, pre-stamped. They all right here, stamps, ready to rock and roll. You see it, priority mail. We sticking them in here today. You should get them, all right? So we pumped up. I know. I normally do the, it's your boy E.T. Welcome to another day. I know, but man, I'm so full right now. Y'all all know it. You know, I've been tweeting about it, Facebooking about it. Woo! Your boy, I cannot believe it. I'm hype. I can't believe I'm holding it. It was once an idea, just an idea. This was just once an idea. Something I just talked about. Woo! But now I'm actually holding this puppy in my hand. I wish you could, man, for those of you, some of y'all probably got it already. If you don't mind, I got 3 hot principles for you. But I want to take this off, because most books, this is why it took a little longer. Most books don't even have this. Woo! I'm touching it. It was once in here. Remember what I told y'all before a long time ago, the beginning of this year? Remember what I told you? I told you gotta see it here first. You gotta use your imagination. That's why God gave it to you. You gotta use it. But if you use it properly, you can take what's up here and you can bring it out here. This is it, baby. This is it. You see it on the top, baby. I wish you could feel it. For those of you got your book already, I want you to pull it out. And I just want you to, if you got it anywhere near you, I just want you to touch it. The secrets to success is right there, baby. My mama called me, my mama in San Fran. She said, baby, I can't wait to get home so I can buy my book. I'm like, Ma, buy it. It's yours. She said, nope, I want to make an investment in my son. Are you hearing? My father say, I can't wait to get the book. So it's here, man. I'm pumped up. I'm hyped, man. It's going to be that's why you ain't see me Monday, man. We was putting them in the mail. Friday we put all the U.S. in there. Monday we was Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, China, Japan, UK, Canada. I could go on. Denmark. Just all over the world, you guys invested in us. We just want to say thank you to everybody that pre-ordered, that made this thing become a reality. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making this thing a reality. All right, I'm about to put it down. I got 3 principles. For you. 3 principles. Bring it in. Your boy is hot. Woo! I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. Took me 10 years. Now, I got 3 principles because, thank God his money is not about Eric Thomas, all right? And so people have been hitting me up. E.T., how does it feel? E, just do a whole TGIM on how I feel, all right? I'm not going to rob you like that, but what I will do is I'm going to try to take these feelings that I have and I'm going to turn them into principles for you, all right? Because this feeling that I have right now, listen to me, this not about just ET. I want you to have this feeling, all right? And I'm telling you, if you do what I'm about to tell you to do, all right, these 3 principles, if you do what I'm about to tell you to do, one day, like your boy, you're going to get that monkey off your back. Some of y'all watching it, you good. You just watch it for motivation and inspiration. But some of you got that monkey on your back. You got some things you said you were going to accomplish, some things you were going to do. You hadn't gotten there yet. There's a way you want to live, right? There's a way you want to live, and you ain't living like that right now. You frustrated. You tired. When you go to work, you burnt out. You're tired. You ready to quit. You ready to give up. You ain't living the way you want to live. But I'm telling you because I've been there. I've done that, right? The streets of Detroit, homeless. I'm standing here right now as an author. You understand me? As an author, it feels good. So I got 3 things. Listen to me. The first one, bring it in. I need your undivided attention. All right? The first thing is you got to believe no matter what's going on in your life right now, no matter what your reality is, hear me clearly. You got to feel this one in your spirit. This is not just motivation. I'm trying to get this one in your spirit. You got to believe that one day is going to be your day. Are you hearing me? You got to believe that just like I'm standing here right now. Look, I told people I was an author long before I wrote the book because I wasn't waiting for the book to be one. I just kept saying it over and over again. I put it in my bio, author, motivator, educator, all right? Listen to me very closely. You got to believe no matter what's going on in your life right now that one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be your day. You got to believe that. And so one day I woke up last Friday. They called me, Mr. Thomas, finally your book is ready. Come pick it up. I didn't even let them ship them all. I went to go get 1,000 of them. Why? Because I wanted to walk through the plant. I wanted to see the press, the printing press where my book went through. I wanted to go to the place where they bind it. I've been waiting too long for this moment. I've been waiting too long for this moment to let somebody ship them to the house. I drove 3 hours to Ashland, Ohio, the Bookmasters. I drove. Matter of fact, I didn't drive in the car. I drove the car. You understand me? I drove 3 hours. I've been waiting. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, I owe you guys big.
He printed your dust jackets.
Okay, good.
That's where your dust jackets were printed. The rest of them are.
So the desk jackets were there, good. I drove 3 hours. I didn't even stop to eat. As a matter of fact, my son got upset. Bibbs got upset because on our way, it was a 3-hour drive. They called me and said, we got 400 ready right now for you to sign and put in those envelopes so you can ship off. The post office closed at 4:30. I told everybody we ain't eating. Let's ride. We rode out 3 straight hours.
Can we get something to eat, Dad?
Can we get something to eat?
Yeah. Because I want it as bad as I want to breathe right now.
You always want to eat as bad as you want to breathe.
I want it as bad as I want to breathe right now.
Let me tell you something. The only eating we about to do, they got books waiting for us. We about to go eat these books. I'm signing you stuff, and ain't nobody tripping on you eating. You should have ate before we left the crib. You know me. You know once I get on the road, it's a wrap.
I tried to, but you said not to. You said
I know, because I was. Right. I did say we was gonna get some on the road. We was gonna stop.
Baby,
Hey.
See how you do me, what I ain't doing. See how I ain't doing. I'm gonna be thorough with this.
It's the real ET right here. I'm trying to get it twisted. It's the real ET right here. We don't eat. Hey, he make us not eat. We don't get no sleep. Get up at 6 every day. He calling me. I can't get no rest. I can't sleep in.
Hey, remember what I said on the video though? Hey, Beyonce went 3 days. I'm just asking for 3 hours. Beyonce said 3 days she forgot to eat. So we can't be saying it on the video and we not doing it. All right.
Hey,
So
yeah, watch your speed though. Watch your speed.
Look, Hey, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. We got folks waiting to get their book. Keep your mouth shut. Hey. But for real, I did say that, but for real, when the lady said they got 200 waiting, I'm like, we got to get there. So the first thing you got to do for me is You gotta stop. You gotta stop embracing your reality right now, and you gotta start believing that one day is gonna be your day. Today is ET telling you I finished my book. Tomorrow is you telling me that your business is finally launched and you getting paid. You doing what you said you were going to do. Somebody, it's gotta be the robe. It's got the robe, and you marching across the stage with your robe, getting your degree. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I don't know who you are. It's somebody out there right now. You got in a car accident and you can't walk. I don't need you to keep thinking about the fact that you can't walk. I need you to see yourself walking so that one day you can do a video and shoot it to me and say, E.T., I was watching TGIM and I ain't just watching and dreaming no more. It ain't a dream no more. I'm walking now. Are you hearing me? I'm trying to tell you that one day it ain't gonna be a dream. And unless you stop dreaming. If you don't stop dreaming, one day it ain't gonna be no dream no more. This book ain't about just E.T. This book is, I'm trying to tell you something, that if E.T. can dream it and it can become a reality, he can stand right here now as an author, that you can do it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But you gotta believe. That's my first principle. You gotta believe, and you gotta say it. Say it with me before I go to my second principle. Say it with me, that today is my day. You gotta wake up every day. Every day, you got to wake up every day and say, today is the day. I don't care what it's looking like. You got to wake up and say, today is the day. Today is the day. Now, number two, this one is so important. You got to get this one. You got to get this one. Number two is you can do it. What do I mean by that? You don't have to be perfect to live in prosperity. Are you hearing me? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get all A's. Now, I'm not saying if you don't have the potential. Look, if you got the potential to get all A's, I need you to get all A's. But what I'm saying to you is that you don't have to be perfect. Your circumstances don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be born in a perfect environment. You don't always have to do the right thing the right way for you to get to prosperity. You don't have to be perfect to get to prosperity. How do I know? Because your boy ain't perfect. As a matter of fact, this text ain't perfect. Do you know how many times I've come out here and I've done a TGIM? I sweat 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sweat, blood, tears. I'm putting in this thing. And Carl, my videographer, will say, E.T., I'm glad you put so much passion in it, but we're going to have to start again. That was not your best. Oh, I'm like, Carl, man, come on, Carl. E.T., let's start over from scratch. Are you hearing me? You don't have to be perfect to live in prosperity. You don't have to be perfect to get all your dreams. You don't have to be perfect to do what it is you want to do and to be who you want to be and to have what you want to have. E.T.'s not perfect. High school dropout. I know you heard it. I'm going to keep saying it. It took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree. My junior year in college, I had a 1.7 GPA. The university asked me to leave. You don't have to be perfect to get to the place where you want to be in life. All you got to do is be willing. All you got to do is try. All you got to do is put forth effort. Oh, you better catch that second one. I'm going to stay there for a minute because somebody need to get that. You don't need to be perfect. I was watching Oprah Winfrey the other day, watching something Oprah said. And Oprah said how embarrassed she was when she had that child out of wedlock and then the child died. She said she felt ashamed. I'm thinking, Oprah? I didn't even know Oprah had been through that because of the way she walks now. She don't walk like she ever been ashamed. The way she talks now, she don't talk like she been ashamed. The way she carries herself right now, she doesn't act like she was ever a person ashamed. And so I'm looking at if Oprah could get to where she's been when she wasn't perfect. You still tripping that you did that? Forget about it. It's over. Everybody's forgotten about it but you. Everybody's forgiven you but you. You're the only one still thinking about it. That happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 6 months ago, last month, yesterday. Get over it. Ain't nobody perfect. And if they are, I ain't running with them. They not in my circle. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This does not say perfection, right? I'm sure I got to go through it again. It's a couple flaws. But guess what? It's easier to fix mistakes than it is to get started. So forget about it. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to know what you want, and you got to be willing to get up every single day and say, this is the day. All right, I want to show y'all something. This last point I want to make. This thing is deep. Now, I know some of you are like, E.T., why you going in the book, E? I ain't get a chance to read the book yet. I know, but I want to show you something in the book because this thing is powerful, man. This thing is powerful. And really, I don't want to show, I don't really want to show you what's in the book. I want to show you something, right? There's a letter.
right? And there's a letter in here that I want to share with you. Carl, I don't know, Carl, because they might not be able to see it. It's a chapter, I believe it's chapter 16. You got page 155. You're gonna get a chance to see it, right? And I don't really want you to see the letter because I don't want to reveal the stuff in the letter, but I want to show you the date, December 6th, 1993. Let's do it again because I don't know if you caught that. December 6th, 1993. People, when they watch me, E.T., you doing your thing. E.T., you blowing up. E.T., you're an overnight success. I told you before, you do the math. 1993, and I hadn't even just started. That was my first big engagement. What am I saying to you? 1993. I'm saying to you, if you want to stand here today, and you know I'm not talking about standing where I'm standing, because what I'm trying to teach you is this, that it takes steps. It takes steps. You got to take one step at a time. That's my final one. You see where I am? It's a progression, one step at a time. But you got to get started somewhere. You can't get to the top if you're not ready to get started. I'm not asking you to take leaps. I'm not asking you to jump. I'm saying take one step at a time. In 1993, you see it, I was taking steps. I've been taking steps. And so I'm telling you, you can do it. You can have it. You can be whatever you want to be. But you got to start somewhere. You got to take some steps. And what do I call those steps? Listen to me, young people, and I want my young people to hear this one. I want you to hear. E.T. lives in practice. Are you hearing me? When I speak, some people only give me 15 minutes. Some people give me 30 minutes. Some people give me an hour. But I get to practice all day. On Tuesday, I wake up, I'm practicing. On Wednesday, I wake up, I'm practicing. On Thursday, I'm practicing. On Friday, I'm practicing. When I'm in the plane, I'm practicing. In the hotel room, I'm practicing. When they pick me up in the limousine and I'm driving to the hotel or to the event, I'm practicing. I live practice. I learn in practice. I listen in practice. I grow in practice. And then when I get my chance, I'm ready because I practiced. You got to take one step at a time. And I've been taking steps, baby. Listen to me, long before, but I want you to see the book. I've been taking steps since 1993. And in 94, I took some more. And in 95, I took some more. Oh, I'm ending it with this, y'all. You see, I only own one pair of Michael Jordan shoes. That's all I could afford. Bought them about a year ago. I opened up a care box the other day. I opened it up. It was 3 pair of Nikes. It was about 7 or 8 Jumpman 23 shirts. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I just got a call. From Michael Jordan's people, and they said, E.T., we need you to do a voiceover. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I went from talking to elementary schools first. That's how it all started. Talking to elementary schools, talking to my GED program. Then I went to high schools and middle schools. Before you know it, I started going to colleges. And now I got major corporations calling me saying, E.T., you say, I ain't in the gym shoes. It's not about gym shoes. The word says, find a man as diligent at his work, and he shall stand before kings and queens and not mean men. When I saw that Michael Jordan symbol, and I got a call from MJ's people saying, we need you to do a voiceover for an internal project that we doing. I'm like, MJ? I watched MJ. Now they want a voiceover? I'm wearing the shoes, and not only am I wearing them, young people, I'm wearing them for free because your gift will make room for you. So I'm saying get started. I started as a high school dropout. Now on my Vita, on my resume, and they asked me what corporations have I spoken to, I can add Jumpman 23, the MJ brand. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? So I'm saying get started. That's what I'm telling you, get started. Today we're talking about E.T.'s book, The Secret to Success. But tomorrow we're gonna be talking about you, all right? So I just need you to believe it. I need you to believe that you're gonna get to where you wanna be. I need you to wake up every day believing it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I need you to wake up every single day believing, saying this is going to be my day. One day I'm going to be exactly where I wanna be. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And then I need you to take steps. I need you to practice. I need you to live practice. You understand me? I need you to breathe practice. I need you to eat practice. I need you to sleep practice. I need you to grow in practice. I need you to learn in practice. I need you to breathe practice. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And so it's your boy E.T., man. I'm sitting here. I can't believe it. I gotta go, but I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's finally here. I've been talking about it I've been waiting and debating, I know, Elle, for all so long. But now she's here. So listen to me. I don't care where you starting. I don't care what your circumstance. I don't care what your situation. Stop talking about it. Take the steps necessary. Take the steps necessary and make the rest of your life the best of your life. It's your boy, E.T. The days that I was walking and I was homeless and it was cold in the tree.
I didn't feel that there was a reason for Eric to be in a homeless situation.
And it was like 10 below zero and I'm walking up and down Finkel Avenue.
We couldn't get through all the pain and anger that we had at home.
I'll never forget one time I went into Coney Island. I know I ain't had no money, but I mean it was like 10 below. Snow everywhere. My feet are freezing. I had nowhere to go because it was the weekend, like a Sunday, and her mother was at home. And I walked into Coney Island. I'll never forget going up to the cash register. The lady like, what do you want? I'm like, I had a number 3. I know I ain't had no money to buy nothing to eat.
I was embarrassed about being a single parent. I think that's probably part of the reason I didn't tell the truth, and probably one of the reasons my husband never told the truth about it, because it was a source of embarrassment for me.
And I started feeling for my wallet. I was like, man, I forgot my wallet. Give me a second. I want to find my wallet. Sat down at the table, put my head down and fell asleep for about 3 or 4 hours. There were some days, man, I felt like giving up. I wanted to commit suicide.
So it was totally devastating for me, because I thought I had been a good parent, and I thought I was a much better parent than my own parents. So I didn't understand it. I really didn't. It was very hard for me for a long, long time.
The first time I ever mentioned him say, my father's out in the congregation, but he didn't say it as if it was a wonderful thing. He said it as if now it's time to deal with this situation.
And so I went back in, I preached, and so let's say he was sitting to the right of me. I would never look at the right side.
After the service was over, there was a long line of people that wanted to acknowledge him. And I stood in that line till basically I was the last person. As I walked up to him and was about to talk to him, boy, wow.
We met each other, and I just started crying.
He had a bad taste in his mouth for me that day. He lit into me, man, why weren't you in my life?
What was it about me that you didn't like?
How could you do that as a father?
Why did you abandon
me? Like I say, he lit into me, and after the fact, I think that I had almost got to the point where I didn't feel like a lot was accomplished, but I understood his anger then.
That was the first day of the beginning of a new life for me, because I had to deal with the anger that I had from my real father and tear those walls down so that I could become the man God wanted me to be. So that was the first time I met my biological father.